maybe your team gets the day off tomorrow after that one?
You know what, if it was 8-2 the other way, we would be taking the day off. But they certainly earned it tonight. They played a hell of a game. I thought our puck pressure and our tenacity was at its best, both when we had the puck and when we didn't. And it allowed us to create turnovers and take advantage of them.
You said this morning that you needed to match the must-win intensity you knew Calgary would bring. Safe to say that you got that part of your game where you wanted it.
Yeah, I think tonight we were able to do that, definitely. And I think it was Jim Hiller said just before the game it just felt a little bit different than it did the other night. And that doesn't mean the opponent the other night was any different, but just our team was a little bit, maybe a little more focused, so that's a good thing.
I may not have the words right, but you said that you guys have evolved from a team that, say, searched for offense as opposed to checking for offense. Is tonight kind of a crystallization of how you guys have evolved in that, and that you know you can score, but there's a way of going about it? And
I think that's fair to say. We've been getting there. You know, one of the worst things to do is to review the year. But the way you asked the question, we started out and we believed we added offense to the lineup, but we didn't live up to the other part of the bargain, the checking and the. And as the year wore on, our offense got a little bit better, and the checking certainly is much better now than it was, you know, 3 or 4 months ago. And I think as a result, we're a better offensive team now because of it.
Another strong game for your fourth line. Does that make life easier or harder for you as they push for more ice time?
No, I want them to push for ice time night in and night out. And they played very well. They have, doesn't matter if Arthur's in there, Jad's in there, Mac, whoever it might be. But you're still only given 60 minutes a night. They got a lot of good minutes tonight, and they were rewarded for their hard work. So it's their job to make our decisions difficult, not easy. And they're doing that right now.
You mentioned anyone can play in that spot. Safe to say you're happy with McEwen tonight?
Absolutely, yep. I thought he did against a big, heavy, strong team. He patrolled the boards well and went to the net. Was good without the puck, communicated well on the bench with his line mates and his teammates. Fits our team very well.
Seems like Quinton has just an ability to get to pucks, turn like 30-70 pucks into 50-50 pucks. What is it just about that intuition, the way that he goes into battles, the routes that he takes?
I think he reads and anticipates where the play is going. He's got really quick feet. He's got a long reach. That extension of his stick allows him to close ice down quickly. And then when he gets there, he's got a pretty good tenacity. And I think he's on his feet so much more this year than he was in the past. So it means he's getting stronger. He stays in those battles. He comes out of those battles. Just a young man that's maturing.
does this group like flying under the radar? I mean, when there's talk about quote unquote contenders, maybe the Kings are starting to creep into the conversation, but does it like flying under?
I don't think any of us really care what the pundits, and you guys all have jobs to do, they're hard jobs, but none of us really care. We just play, and we're going to try and keep it that way as long as we possibly can. We just know we got to practice twice this week and get better because the next game's going to be important.
But you've coached a lot of good teams, Todd. This team hasn't lost in regulation going on a month. Is this as good a level as a team that you've coached?
It has a chance to be. You know, I was fortunate to be with some pretty good hockey clubs. We won the Stanley Cup in Detroit. So we still have lessons to learn as it goes on, and improvement to make. We'll have to deal with adversity as we go forward, whether it's injuries or a bad night. The other night was a prime example. We played a good game and lost. Kept the team to 8 shots with 8 minutes left in the game and still lost. I thought the response today was really good, the way we perhaps fixed some of the things offensively that we didn't have against Vancouver.
We've talked a lot this year about the way Kupari's improved defensively and maybe in the little things, but he's got a lot of offense coming in the last couple games. Where have you seen that growth from him recently?
I know Jimmy Hiller's done a lot of work with him. One-on-one encouraging, sometimes some stiff encouragement to do certain things. We're seeing more of that show up in his game. he's got outstanding legs. If he uses his legs and keeps it simple, he's got a pretty good shot. When he's playing with that pace and that tempo and not over stick handling and turning back, he is a handful to handle. So he's done that lately.
We've seen him drop the shoulder and drive the net a lot more recently. How much of that message has been there recently?
Yeah, and that's part of his game too. And the role that he's playing, he's become a good penalty killer, and there's more physicality in his game. Important that you have more to your game, especially on the fourth line, than just a one-trick pony. And Coop's developing that.
You have anything on Gabe?
I don't know, not right now. Obviously went into the boards hard, was getting looked at.
Talk a bit about the decision to ice the power play lineup you did late in the game.
It was 6-2 with 7 minutes left, 5-on-3. We needed to reward the fourth line players for the work they did. They did a real good job. So in that situation, I think it's important that our team knows we're willing to do that for them, and we chose to do that.
You talked about them being desperate to win, and when you're up big late in a game with a team that is desperate to win, are you aware that they might start getting frustration, start taking that out in some ways, or are you not focused on anything like that?
No, we're aware. I don't think that was a factor at all tonight. Not one bit. You're always aware, but if we're getting teams frustrated, we're doing our job. So that's a good sign. Have a good